Another interesting game here for fellas, because we got to figure out who's real and who's not real. And that is, are the Dallas Cowboys for real, even with Cooper Rush at quarterback? Commanders and the Cowboys. Cowboys are 3-point home favorites, though this is starting to get a little juicy in a couple of places. We might be heading to 3.5 in favor of the Cowboys. 41.5 is the total. Now, Adam, if we look at this, I think that there is something very clear in this that we're all going to talk about here, and that is the fact that Carson Wentz has been sacked 15 times already on the season. That's tied for most in the league, and he's going up against a defense that has Micah Parsons, who has the most sacks as a team, has the most sacks of any team in the NFL. That seems to be the first and foremost place to start here is, can Washington figure out a way to keep Carson Wentz off of his back? And if that's not the case, then probably this is a one-way handicap.
And you know what, Matt, because of that, let's talk about the other side of the ball with the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas right now is actually better offensively than we expected them to be. And no, I'm not buying into is Cooper Rush as good as Dak Prescott? Cool story, Phil Simms. But ultimately, they've managed to continue to move the ball with some efficiency, right? We've seen them be able to get it to Noah Brown in week 2. We saw it go to CeeDee Lamb in week 3. Cooper Rush is not making mistakes, and that's the biggest thing you can ask out of him. He's not missing throws badly. He's not causing turnovers. They still have managed to be able to run the ball with some efficiency, despite the fact that they don't seem to like Tony Pollard very much, even though he's a better running back than Zeke Elliott at this point. So I think as you evaluate this game, you look and say to yourself, okay, if Dallas has the ability to at least avoid mistakes and the pass rush can create the kind of situations that you referenced, right? The ability to get to Carson Wentz, then I think you look at Dallas and say, this is the stronger side at 3 or less.
Yeah, Steven, if we look, I mean, the other thing about this is when he's not getting sacked, he's getting pressured. He's been pressured. Carson Wentz has been pressured 53 times already through 3 games. Like, it's crazy. And to make matters worse, obviously, as you would imagine with a guy like Carson Wentz, he's not good under pressure. He's the 24th ranked quarterback in the NFL whenever he is getting pressured. So not only is he getting sacked a ton, when he's not getting sacked, he's getting pressured a ton. It's just, for me, I know, listen, there was a very influential group out there that put out a play on Washington in this one. And that's why this line has not moved much further than it has right now. I mean, they took the 3 and a hooks that were available and took them with big money. And so I don't know if there's something they're seeing that I'm not. It's just, for me, I understand that anytime we start talking Carson Wentz, I have blinders on. I'm completely biased when it comes to Carson Wentz. I think he's absolute garbage. And so I value y'all's opinion and stuff like this to make me wonder, like, what am I not seeing? Is this a bias that keeps coming into play here? Because even with Cooper Rush, to me, if he can't stay upright, then how the hell are the Commanders going to put the ball in the end zone?
If I had to guess why that group made the play, it seems like a numbers play, because the opening line on this one in the summer, assuming Dak was playing, was Washington +5. And now you get to Cooper Rush and they're gobbling up 3.5 because they probably don't believe that the drop from a starter to a backup is only 1.5 points. But I would argue what you guys have said. Cooper Rush has looked pretty darn competent. The past 2 weeks, he's been top 12 in EPA per play and success rate among all quarterbacks in those 2 starts. And full transparency, I did bet Washington +3 on the look-ahead line based on the same logic that the number has not come down far enough from Dak to Cooper Rush. But he's looked good, man. I am absolutely terrified of Washington being able to protect against this ferocious Dallas front. They were destroyed by the Eagles with 9 sacks. Dallas is ranked higher than Philadelphia in pass rush win rate. And this is a bottom 5 pass block win rate offensive line for Washington. So numerically, it doesn't make sense potentially, but perhaps we were wrong about Cooper Rush and the value we should assign to him. Perhaps we are overlooking the complete mismatch in protection for Carson Wentz, and perhaps that we are not downgrading Washington enough from preseason expectations. When I already bet them on the under on the win total, I thought their market rating was ludicrous coming into the season to assume that Carson Wentz was an upgrade. So I think we're seeing a combination of things here, and I don't feel great about that look-ahead line that I bet.
Yeah, it would be a Dallas or pass for me, not one that's in the account. That said, maybe a contest play for me. If we're just being honest, like maybe this is one of those that sneaks into the contest for me this week, and we just kind of watch and make sure that I'm not getting blinded here by what Cooper Rush has been doing. But boy, it sure does seem like he has a pretty solid grasp of this offense. And if Carson Wentz can't stay upright, then I just don't know how they move the ball. So I'm going to be, it's going to be Dallas or pass for me.